What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's Redskins Rundown. Unfortunately, not a great week to cover at all. This has to be one of the worst games that I've seen in recent memory, easily last 5-10 years. Like the second half wasn't quite as bad, but the first half, it was, and all the injuries and what happened afterward. It was terrible week. There goes our victory streak, our four-win victory streak.
Yeah.
And of course, it had to come against Dallas.
Yeah. Drops you guys down to 6 and 7, but you guys still are in the 7th wild card spot. So if you guys can win against Philly,
we'll get more into the COVID situation and all that. I guess I'll recap this shit show of the game really quickly because I don't ever really want to see this game ever again. But Dallas started with the ball against us, and Washington defense that has allowed 45 points and 6 touchdowns on opening drive. Terrible stat. After a 13 play, 54-yard drive, opening drive, Dallas would take a 3-0 lead with a 35-yard Greg Zuerlein field goal. Washington's first drive started well. Seemed like things might not go the way they did with a 14-yard completion to Humphries on his signature route that he always does. I actually don't remember for sure, but I would imagine it was.
No, I actually think it was a deeper route, but it's
Really? Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Caught something else. Yeah, so he got us a first down, but however, it ended in a punt after a third down pass by Taylor was almost picked and went right through Anthony Brown's hands while targeting Diami Brown, which was interesting to see the two Browns.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, look at this little joke here.
I don't know why they only targeted him that one time, so it's interesting to see, he was like their high draft pick receiver, so it's interesting to see him not get more looks. Especially.
Well, I don't think Terry got many looks either that game.
Terry got 3 targets.
Yeah, three targets.
And left in the third quarter with after taking a huge shot with the ground.
Yeah, we'll cover that in a bit. But yeah, that was frightening to say the least.
Yeah, for sure.
So after that, Dak would trip on his lineman's foot while attempting to hand the ball off to Zeke, which was great to see.
Yeah.
But he would recover it instead of a 2nd and long, and Dak would throw deep on the next play. But the ball was intercepted by Landon Collins.
Yeah.
Who has just been having a fantastic last couple weeks since he changed positions.
Landon had a great game. To go with that pick, he also had 2 of the Washington 4 sacks on the day. So he had probably his best game of the season.
I can't why hasn't that man been playing linebacker like this whole time? Like what are you doing?
Because he doesn't want to hit 230-pound running backs
But he's so good at it though.
I know.
Like,
well, you can understand why he doesn't want
I can understand why, but it's like, bro, come on, you got to do it. You're the highest paid safety in the league. Like, do what you're at. Come on. And thankfully he is now, because like that's one of the bright points of this game. You're right. Like, because this game is just thinking about it makes me sick.
There were positives for sure.
There were some positives in there for sure. Landon Collins though, like everyone used to hate him, but now he's playing good. No reason to hate him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after that, things went south as for majority of the game. Randy Gregory came back with an interception on a tip ball that would give Dallas back the ball. Dak connected with Amari Cooper on a touchdown to put Dallas ahead 9-0. Washington was calling for roughing the passer, which Dallas used as an opportunity to move for a two-point conversion.
Yeah, it's like, why the hell do you do that, McCarthy?
Yeah.
I guess that's what you do when you guarantee victory. You just try to.
Yeah, right. He's kind of just like. That's why. And it's like, fuck you, Pat Nick.
So they go up 11-0, and then fucking next drive, goddamn Micah Parsons on a 4th and 3, Riverboat going for it, of course, because that's what Riverboat do. Riverboat's got to go for it at least 3 or 4 times a game, or it's not a Ron Rivera called game. And I like it about him. I mean, like, Big Balls Ron, it would be my nickname for him. So anyway, 4th and 3, fucking Heineke gets lit up by fucking Micah Parsons, some bitch, who the Redskins or Washington could have had. Which I know that's a debate. Like he had like 2 sacks in this game, but he forces the fucking ball out. Dorrance Armstrong, for the Cowboys lineman, picks it up, runs it in for a fucking scoop and score to put the Cowboys ahead 18-0. And then that's just after 1 quarter. So really they dug themselves into a rough point. In a lot of ways, like I know that you look at this game as a negative, but
what do you mean? How else could it not be a negative? Like, come on.
I mean, obviously it's a negative, but I mean, like, what I mean is like When you say it's like the worst game ever, so like really,
not ever, but it's like
yeah.
one of the worst games. I mean, I would say the worst first half I've seen that I can remember.
I would say that really they didn't play that bad defensively, because had it not been for their offense putting them in with the one interception and the one fumble right there in Dallas in two short drives, because Dallas really didn't score. I mean, what was the final score in that game? It was
27-20.
20. Yeah, so Dallas
which
had
is not what I expected.
Yeah, exactly.
It was 24-0 at one point.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
well,
I think it was at the end of the second quarter. It was 24-0.
And like I was gonna say, like Dallas had 18 of those 27 points in the first quarter. So like you guys really held them defensively. So to say like they didn't whip your
That's
ass
true.
or anything, like, so I'd look at it more as a positive. Like especially playing
right
Dallas in
in
2
that
weeks.
aspect.
Like I think Dallas has a lot to worry about. I think that if Heineke played his worst game ever, and I think if that didn't happen, I mean Heineke starts off 2 out of 7.
2-10. I remember seeing one time.
Yeah.
It was
I mean,
2-10
I remember.
point.
Yeah, exactly. And then at one point, yeah, like 2 for 10 for like 19 yards with one pick, and he would leave the game for one play, get replaced by Kyle Allen, who Kyle Allen would run for an 11-yard run for a first down. Heineke comes back in the next play. But then Micah Parsons gets his second sack of the day, forcing another.
Yeah, dude. Fuck Micah Parsons. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
Another third down sack, forcing another Washington punt. So Dallas adds a second quarter field goal to make it 21-0 at that point. So again, like 21 of their, 27 points scored right there. So really, like, especially in the second half, I noticed that you guys really, like, I mean, they had a more conservative game plan, but you guys definitely did a lot more against them too.
What's weird though is as the game progressed, numerous players got injured. Mm-hmm. So, and like I don't understand how we managed to like come back, but the following drive and we pick up the first down, but then Charles Leno, the right tackle, would leave the game with a back injury and was replaced by Sadiq Charles. So just the numerous injuries that happened, and then like I think we lost our. Like this coming into the next game, we have like a brand new center, or like the male model guy is going to be because all four centers are down.
Is it Toth, or is
John
it
Toth?
John Ismail?
John Toth.
Or is it Keith Ismail? I thought
it's
maybe.
John Toth.
Okay.
Keith Ismail also got hurt.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jeez.
Like this game was just negative, and Terry gets hurt. All these, it's like, dude, I can't. It's hard to find. I mean, you are right about the defense. They did do well, but God, it's really hard to focus on the positives when this game was as shit show as it was.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, like another positive is I mean, in addition to, we talked about them getting 4 sacks, John Allen, picking up his 7.5, picking up to where he has
7.5 sacks.
I was like, it's weird with the half sack to say it, because normally you just be like he has 7 sacks, but picking up his 7.5.
7.5. You could say 7.5 too.
Yeah,
I guess that works.
Fine. Yeah, we'll just go with that. Picking up his 7.5 sacks on the year. Now, what's interesting about that is Jonathan Allen's career high is 8 sacks. So I mean, he's potentially going to set a career high this year, and he's been playing his ass off, so he deserves it.
He's going to. I would bet money on that. He's going to get 10 at least, hopefully.
And that would stall the drive, hold Dallas to a field goal. So 24. So yeah, 24 of Dallas's 27 points in the first half.
Yep.
So I mean, you guys really like held out in the second half. I mean, I think there's a lot more to be positive about than I mean, if your offense doesn't put you in a hole, you guys have a good shot to win that game. Now, obviously, first down offense was atrocious. 0 for 6 on third down. Taylor 2 for 12 for 19 yards, no touchdowns.
Oh, it got to 2 for 12 at one point. I remember seeing 2 for 10. Jeez,
and a 4.9 rating. We were talking about how bad Cam's rating was the other day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Washington would start with the ball in the second half, and they'd convert their first third down of the day, which was huge on the drive. But
see, this is where I led the positives. You're like, oh, it's no. Terry got hurt, man. Like, I don't care what. And
he took a big shot on his third target in a game where he didn't have any catches. He was really shut out by Diggs. Diggs had him blanketed the entire game, but he left the game after a hard shot with the ground and with a concussion. But he has cleared the protocol, so that is
that's a good news for Tuesday. He has cleared the protocol. So very happy about that because we definitely need him.
Yeah.
But after that, Washington's second drive of the third quarter went much better, and it started with Antonio Gibson's best run of the day for 13 yards. Finally getting something going because the first half, like I said, that's got to be the worst first half I've seen maybe in my life. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then John Bates coming in and getting a 19-yard gain on a tight end screen.
Yep.
So good to see that he's able to produce something with Logan Thomas unfortunately out probably for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But Washington finally capped a 7-play, 90-yard drive with a 42-yard touchdown bomb to Cam Sims. Beautiful pass by Heineke.
It was
absolutely perfect.
Like,
it was
right.
Yeah, it was
back
just
in the hands. That was nice.
Like that. I remember when that happened. Like, well, I think it was maybe towards the end of the game, but that was like one of the highlights of the game. That's probably the biggest play of the game. That was a great pass, great catch.
And that was with Diggs, the guy that had been blanketing Terry all game, covering him. So they're Dallas's best corner. So yeah,
absolutely.
But then of course Dallas would go for 2 because that makes sense. You mean
Washington? You mean Washington?
Fuck yeah. Washington. I'm just used to like fucking the first
Riverboat Ron
having to report on all that shitty Dallas scoring.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, anyway, Washington would go for 2. Yes, Riverboat Ron, and it made sense because down 24, 8
with
16,
only a
24,
half to play,
it makes it.
And that too, right? If you can get 2 every time, you can make it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Heineke doing his signature, his signature.
Yeah, dude, when he ran it in and dove in like that, everybody, because I was at the bar watching the game, and everybody was just like, he did it again. Like that's like our favorite fucking thing, dude. When he does that, it's so great.
I'm sure.
It's probably his favorite thing too. Like, you know what I mean? Every time he probably loves doing that.
I would imagine so.
So after that, defense would get the ball back after a Dallas punt, but they would proceed to give the ball right back 2 plays later on Gibson's 6th fumble of the season, which I believe is a high NFL unfortunate NFL record that you don't want to have.
Yeah, it's like the Niners leading in pass interferences.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Doesn't he also have like the highest NFC rushing yards or something like that?
Yeah, he's got like 836 now, I think.
It's probably maybe it's not as high because he didn't get that many yards. I feel like it was 800.
No, and then he had 36 in that. He had 10 for 36 in this game.
Yeah, not great.
Not a lot of opportunities. Like his best run was that 13-yard run though. So I mean, obviously being down that much, you couldn't really run as much.
Yeah. After that, Dallas would come away with a 4th Zerline field goal to put Dallas ahead 27-8, which would be their last score of the game.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was going to mention too, was the fact that you guys held them to 4 field goals on drives where they could have gone down and gotten touchdowns. So that's encouraging as well.
Yeah, that is true. So after that, we did score and we made it a closer game, but it just got worse and worse. Both center Tyler Larson and Taylor Heineke, Tyler and Taylor, would go down on the same play in the 4th quarter. And I believe Larson was our 3rd center, I think. And then Keith Ismail would come in and he was our 4th center. So as I mentioned earlier, John Toth, who would be like our 5th practice squad center, I guess, who like the male model guy. I mentioned that in some early episode, like in the beginning, that we signed this John Toth.
Talked about
he's a male model or plus size man, and now he's going to get to play. So hopefully he doesn't fumble a couple balls, trying to snap it, but we'll see. But unless somebody else gets healthier, but when you get down to that string level at 3rd and 4th string, like, I mean, shit, what's the difference? Like, give the guy an opportunity. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
next man up.
Those guys are down there for a reason. So, but if they produce, then great. But hopefully by Tuesday we'll have more players back. But after Heineke went down, Kyle Allen came in and would lead Washington on a 13-play, 73-yard drive, capped with a touchdown by Jonathan Williams, who was just promoted from the practice squad. So that must have made his day for sure.
Probably.
Unfortunately, this time we were unsuccessful on the 2-point attempt and made the score 27-14.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. With about 5 minutes left in the game, Washington kicked the ball deep. 2 plays into the Dallas drive, Dak threw a pick 6 to Cole Holcomb with 4:13 left in the game.
Yeah, it really started to seem like they had.
It seemed like they might be coming back. I know. It was like that Cole Holcomb. I mean, it went right to him. I remember watching. I was like, Dak, where were you throwing the ball, man?
Yeah, because like fucking Colt Cole just dropped back, and then like he was looking for Schultz, the tight end, and you could see Holcomb just like tracking the ball. He's like, okay, well I'm just gonna like turn and like pivot and go this way, and yeah,
he's doing that lurk move.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he was able to like take it back for the touchdown and really get him right back in it. So that was super positive. It seemed like they might do it because, like you said, there was 4:13 left on the clock, but it was
yeah. And then it was so 27-20. Then I assume we missed the 2-point conversion again. Trying to get that.
What happened on that play was Brian Johnson attempted his one kick of the day, and it was a blocked extra point, which would have cut the game
that's
within
right.
6. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So his only kick attempt of the game was blocked. So hopefully Joey Sly only misses like one more game and he comes back. So
yeah, dude, we need him back so bad. Absolutely, he's a solid kicker. I was very happy with his performance.
Yeah, we were happy to have Joey when he filled in for Robbie too. Happy to have him.
Yeah, so at that point, that's where the score would stay. We did stop Dallas from scoring anymore. Towards the end of the game, though, Kyle Allen did throw a pick, I believe, at one point. Right.
I don't think
I'm pretty sure he did.
No, he didn't throw a pick. He ended up getting sacked on a drive that ended.
Remember the sack, but I could have sworn he threw a pick. I thought in one of the last drives he threw a pick.
No, he Kyle Allen was 4 out of 9 for 53 yards, no touchdowns, and no picks.
And no pick. Okay, all right. I'm not sure why I thought that. Maybe I just expected that or something. But I know towards the end of the game we had an opportunity there, and he did something, a poor pass.
Yeah.
But hopefully Heineke will be back. Some good news going into the Eagles game, which has been postponed to Tuesday at 7 instead of on Sunday, which is nice. Mm-hmm. John Allen, Montez Sweat, Casey Toohill, and James Smith-Williams are all supposed to be back for the Eagles game. So, and that's really going to help. And our defense, I mean, they already did pretty good against Dallas. So if we have all of them back, hopefully if we can hold the Eagles down and prevent them from scoring, and we get a couple more offensive players back. Terry cleared the concussion protocol, as I think I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the time Tuesday at 7 o'clock comes around, maybe Heineke won't be on the COVID list anymore. That's really the biggest thing we can hope for. Like, I know he's not, not an amazing, great quarterback, and but
I mean,
he does well, and he's the heart of the team. And other than this Dallas game, he was playing very well. But I know he's not an Aaron Rodgers or something like that. But we need a guy that the team's behind, that's been there, can get wins. Like if we go on with some practice squad quarterback, it's going to be a rough day. So it really depends what happens here in the next 2 days in terms of the COVID list and who comes. I mean, at this point, I'd be happy to have Kyle Allen back. At least he knows the system.
Yeah, I mean, and Kyle played pretty well. He led 2 touchdown drives in that game. So I mean, he definitely played serviceable.
All right, so that's about it for the shitty Dallas loss. The end of our streak. We do play the Eagles on Tuesday at 7, as I said. Hopefully, like I said, we have some more players back by then. As of this time, I cover the players that we do have coming back. Given the COVID protocols, if the players are vaccinated, like I believe Heineke is and Kyle Allen, if they're unvaccinated, they're asymptomatic and they produce a negative test, they can play.
I think it's 2 negative tests, but
is it 2? I was reading earlier it was 1, but if it's 2, that makes it a little worse. But maybe I guess it depends how far apart the tests have to be. But there is a chance that the players that are asymptomatic and vaccinated and all of that especially like Heineke, because I feel like, or at least Kyle Allen, we need a quarterback that's in the system,
right?
Hopefully in there. So with some luck, by that time, he'll be back, and maybe we can actually beat the Eagles. And then hopefully for the next Dallas game, we have a lot of people back and are back to at least mostly healthy and can maybe win out the last 3 games of the season. So
yeah, you guys got to hold on to that 7th spot, the 7th wild card spot.
Yes, we do.
Definitely.
All right. Well, tune in next week. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one.